We turn now to political news here in Orange County. Joining us for that, Orange County Register political reporter Peggy Lowe. We're glad to have you back, Peggy.
Hey, guys.
All right, let's turn to the most recent news, which is supervisors meeting yesterday on Tuesday. It gets heated no matter how you slice it.
It was very dramatic.
Yes.
It was like, you know, the Bickersons on parade, kind of. Ed was there, too, and I just want to say, so we had a celebrity in the audience.
Did it help smooth things over at all?
They were always giving shout-outs to Ed Arnold. It made me sick.
Sometimes you got to roll out the celebrities to get things done.
Yeah, but he got to see exactly what went on, which was fascinating.
Yeah, so. And we just want to say that you were there for your Marine Memorial.
Marine Memorial, we got it approved. We're going to now get the permits pulled. We're going to, after 11 years, finally going to get it built.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Our thanks to the supervisors.
You guys were a little worried, it seemed, at one point because Chris Norby was kind of throwing some rocks at it, but it was a 4-1 vote, so you got it approved. So
well,
that's cool.
we expected it, and it worked out fine.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, let's move on to the sheriff's.
Back to the Bickersons.
The sheriff's department and the Bickersons.
Okay.
The two of them together. The sheriffs want to supervisors want to interview sheriff's candidates, but they all have different ideas on how to do it.
They absolutely have different ideas, and it's proving to be kind of as contentious as even just appointing the sheriff, coming up with this process. So as chairman, John Morlock and his chief of staff, Mario Monero, came up with, you know, sort of an idea of how to do this. So they presented the board with the plan yesterday. And one of the things was, so we've got 9 finalists, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be interviewed all day on May 27th in a marathon public hearing session. Right. So they didn't want the guy who goes at the end, which come to find out is Paul Walters, to know all the questions that the other guys are being asked all day. So they came up with kind of this idea of, I kept calling it the isolation booth, right? You know, like in the old Miss America pageants. Yes. But really, it was just isolating them, say, you know, in another office or something. Well, the Supes really balked at that idea. They said, look, we can't keep guys who run jails in jail all day. You know, that's just kind of crazy. So they aren't going to isolate them. They're going to sign a pact. They have to sign a document that says they won't watch the other interviews. And anyway, it was just kind of a free-for-all. Ed was watching it and kind of laughing, and we were talking during it yesterday. So they finally got the process together. And we will go on with these May 27th interviews.
Okay, so just so folks know, May 27th, it is going to be open to the public. Anyone can come and listen at any point during the day. You
absolutely can come and listen at the Board of Supervisors hearing room. You can also watch it on the internet, which I would suggest, having covered many, many of these things. They can get a little dull, but it should be fascinating. I mean, we get to see up close the 9 people who want the sheriff's gig and see what kind of things they're going to say and what kind of plans they have, and that'll be really interesting.
When will the public comments be allowed?
They're going to give the public the ability to come in for an hour at the end of this marathon session, so probably about 8:30 that night on May 27th. Yeah. So.
And did they go through any special lottery as to which questions are going to be asked or anything of that nature?
Well, that was another beef yesterday with the Bickersons because John Morlock and Mario Monero came up with this list of questions, right? And they wanted all the Supes by a certain date to hand in the questions that they were going to ask and stick to it. Well, they got really mad about that. Janet Wynn said that she took issue with the idea that Mario Monero would be demanding things of her by email, and so she got mad at that, and Chris Norby kind of got mad at that, and then John Morlock today sent out an email kind of saying, hey, we were just trying to come up with a plan. Chris Norby got mad at that today, too. It's really kind of some edgy times up on the 5th floor.
Realistically, are they going to put a timeline, though, on, all right, Paul Walters only gets, 8 minutes or however long, because there are certain candidates that are going to be able to answer questions better, maybe longer than others, and this could go on much longer than 8:30 at night.
Right, it's going to be very structured, and there's going to be basically, they're going to give the candidates an opportunity to give a 5-minute introduction, and then the interviewing will last about an hour. Oh. So it's very structured.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll look forward to hearing the outcome of that. Of course, it's going to be terrific. Then will they decide, like, right then and there, they'll.
Well, glad you brought it up. That was another fight. Yeah, that's when Ed came running back to my seat yesterday, and he was like, what are these guys thinking? Chris Norby said, hey, what if I want to vote that night? And other guys said, well, I don't want to vote that night. Bill Campbell said, I might want to mull this over. I don't want to vote yet. And Morlock has scheduled the vote for June 3rd. Well, now that was a problem, too, because, as you know, Janet Wynn's up for re-election, and that's voting day. So then she had a problem with that.
Right.
So, it's like a dysfunctional
Well, what
family.
was the end result in that? When will they be able to vote on who becomes
June 3rd
sheriff?
is when the vote will come down.
That's it, no matter, even if there's an election.
Right, and she said they're going to put it first on the agenda that day. So Another long day for reporters. We'll cover that in the morning and cover the election all day
Boy,
long.
you're earning your money. Okay, we're out of time, but one last question. One last question. We got about 30 seconds, okay? Sheriff asked for early inmate release. Just very briefly.
Very controversial. Jack Anderson, the acting sheriff, went to court last week, said, can I get some early releases because the jail is so severely overcrowded. This was news to the district attorney, among others. The judge turned him down, so we'll see what comes of it.
Very good. Thanks, Peggy.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.